Hey everyone, Callum here from Spitfire Audio, and I'm very excited to be talking about the latest addition to our Abbey Road Orchestra series, and this time it's all about bassoons, which completes our woodwind collection. So, as with the other woodwind libraries, this is recorded in the legendary Studio One space, is performed by two world-class players, and it is expertly mixed by the Grammy award-winning Simon Rhodes. So let's dive in and hear what it sounds like. To reiterate, this is our most detailed sample library that Spitfire Audio has ever done. So it's got all the things you'd come to expect, the complex detail. This had days and days of recording, design work, engineering, mixing, and it's all come together in the same Abbey Road Orchestra plugin that houses every library we've done in this line so far. So what you just heard there is the performance legato patch, and it's built around three different attacks. So we have the soft, gentle attack, the medium attack, and the bold, more forceful Marcato attack. This patch cleverly blends different legato styles into one playable patch, and it does that based on your speed, your dynamics, and the intervals you're choosing. So the first one is just the normal legato transition, and that sounds like this. One of the articulations you're hearing there is called Legato Allegro, and it's a separate set of recordings, and it's designed for when you need to do arpeggiated runs and where there's wider interval leaps, and the bassoons handle that really, really well. And of course, it handles those faster, more agile passages really well. For slower, more emotive writing, we have the Lyrical Legato Extended Patch. This is a different performance style, perfect for more natural, slower transitions between the notes. And this really shines when you are writing something more gentle and expressive, where you really want to hear the nuance of the instrument shine through. So you can also get the individual legato styles on the last page of the articulations. This is if you want more control over those, if you just want to play one of them, or if you want to just switch between a couple of them using key switches to just best suit your performance style. So now switching to the long extended. So these are your polyphonic sustains with the option of adding real-time vibrato. So if I just go up here and choose, it's already on vibrato. I've already got this on, but let me just demo how I map this to a CC value. So if I right click, I go learn MIDI CC automation, move the parameter that I want, and there we go. I can control it like this. So let's hear what that sounds like. That just sounds incredibly realistic and natural and beautiful, and you can hear that Studio One sound behind it. That lets you shape the phrases and chords really naturally, and you can use the dynamics in conjunction with the vibrato control to achieve that sound that you want. Your velocity also controls the note onset in this patch as well, so you have that soft, gentle attack, the medium attack, and the bolder, more forceful attack. This is especially useful when you're layering harmonies and you're playing chords, and you can control how gently you want an extra note to come in, or if you want an extra note to be more pronounced. It's got really, really nice control there. Then we have the Sforzando Attack, and this gives you instant impact when you want to play something that gives you instant powerful emphasis. Those just sound really, really great. I can imagine playing that at the start of a note and then blending into one of the longs or something like that. It's really great to have that control. This library gives you a full range of shorter articulations as well. So we have the staccato, which is a really tight, detached, clear sound. Then we have the alternative staccato articulation, just to keep everything sounding really natural, and it's just an alternative take on the staccato. It's not incredibly different in terms of length, but it has a slight accent that the other staccato doesn't have. Now we have Startisimo. This is always my favourite in the Woodwinds, and it's a really, really short and crisp note length. It's a very, very tight sound, and it just always sounds brilliant. The bassoons just sound fantastic, especially in the lower registers. So let's see what that sounds like. Then we have Tenuto. So this has a slightly longer note length, and it's got a small accented front to the note. So that sounds like this. Then we have Marcato. This is a bold, punchy attack sound, and it sustains longer than the Tenuto. The release system with the Marcato is really versatile. If I go here and dial it right up to the top, you can hear a really, really long release. And then if I dial it all the way back down to the minimum release, it's a really shorter, tighter release. But it still has that differentiation of the Marcato and the staccato articulation. So blending between those really sounds expressive and realistic. So I really briefly want to talk about the key switching possibilities here. So there are so many ways of doing it. You can do it by CC range, you can do it by velocity range, speed, MIDI channel, program channel, key switch. I really like using CC range. I am just going to quickly do a demo on this, and there's a really good functionality where you can set it to latch. So if you go over a certain CC level and you're within that CC range, so I'm going to set it to, let's say 100 to 127, so that if I am on a different articulation and I go on CC21 above 100 and within that range of 100 to 127, as you can see here, it will switch to Startisimo. And I've set it to latch so that when I come back down below 100, it goes back to my previous articulation. So let me just demo that quickly. So many possibilities with that, and I'm always realizing I've barely scratched the surface in how I can actually utilize this in performance and recording. So there's so many ways you can do it, and I love using the CC range version. As with the rest of the Abbey Road Orchestra line, you've got tons of control over your sound thanks to the different mixing and microphone options. So let's go through some of those now. Mix 1 is what we've been hearing so far. This is a full sounding room mix designed to give you that spacious cinematic sound. Then we have Mix 2, so this is a drier and more focused sound, and it still has that cinematic tone that you recognise, but it is more focused and it's better for more intricate, agile patterns. So let's go through all of the individual ones. So the section overheads are a set of large diaphragm condenser mics, and this is positioned above the section. It captures a really, really clear representation of the sound with enough sense of the room around it as well. Then the close signal is a blend of spot mics very, very close to the source. You can then experiment with the close signal and the section overheads to get your desired close sound. So you have really clear detail of the bassoons with these signals, but let me just try bringing in some of the close with the section overheads at full, and let's see, that sounds like this. And maybe a lot more of the close and just some of the section overhead signal. So you can hear that just widens the sound in different ways. You can hear slightly more of the room sometimes, depending on how you blend those. So the pop main signal is a stereo cardioid valve mic, and it is positioned just above the section and it's panned centrally. So it's going right down the middle and it's not bound by the bassoon placement in the orchestra. So you can just do whatever you want with this one. Then we have the pop room signal. This is a set of omnidirectional condenser mics placed either side of the section, and you can mix this in with the pop main signal to just bring in that space and bring in that room. So then we have Tree 1. This is a set of classic valve omni mics, and this is the forming that first Decca tree. And it just sounds really, really full and rich and lovely. And tree 2 is a tighter, closer Decca tree, and it's really, really ideal for faster patterns. Then we have our Omni Outriggers capturing the full width of Studio One. So this can be used with either of the trees to just basically get the widest sound possible. Then out to our more directional Outriggers. They still have that cinematic space of the room, but they are just narrower and more direct. The mids are a pair of valve red mics positioned between the bassoons and the conductor, and this just gives extra focus when combined with the trees and the outriggers. Let's just hear the mids signal on its own really quickly. Then the ambience signal is a pair of small diaphragm omnidirectional microphones, and they're placed at the rear of the room just to give the really, really natural ambience. Then on the next page, we have our first vintage mics. This is a pair of original 1940s RM1B ribbon mics, and these are placed in front of the conductor to create a vintage scoring stage sound. So this has a really warm sound. I think, you can kind of tell it has a bit of the high end rolled off slightly. Vintage 2, this signal this is a pair of classic 44 BX ribbon mics, and again placed in the same place, this just gives you an alternative colour to that vintage sound. The close ribbon signal is a pair of close ribbon mics, and it captures a really, really rounded and detailed sound. Then last but not least, we have our spill mic. So this is a summation of spot mics positioned around the orchestra to basically give the sound of the bassoons from different positions in the orchestra. So it's really, really for added realism. So those are the mics. Let's go back to mix 1 and check out the other articulations that we have on offer in this library. I'm about to demo the double, triple, and quad tongue techniques, which are genuinely my favourite in this library. And that's not least because I was lucky enough to go and see the quad tongue technique being recorded, and the players were so impressive at staying in time with each other. It was quite unbelievable. And I don't even have to close my eyes to bring myself back to that day. These just sound absolutely amazing. Triple tongue. And quad tongue. Then we have our trills, so our minor second. And then we have our trill major seconds. And trill minor thirds. So all of these techniques are amazing for composing the way you want to compose. And what I mean by that is I've definitely used sample libraries in the past where I want to compose a certain way, but it doesn't sound very good when I'm doing that, such as fast patterns where things like the quad tongue would work really well. And this just allows you to do that. So you don't need to strip back your compositions to suit the sound. It's all here to suit your composition to be the best it can be. And I genuinely believe that. And that's Abbey Road Orchestra Bassoons, the final piece completing the Woodwinds section. So because of that, we are doing a bundle, so please have a look at our website to see what you can save when you get it as a collection. I've really enjoyed walking you through this library, and I cannot wait to hear what you will create with it. So lots more exciting things to come, and I hope to see you at the next one.